Most tax pros leave a message.
It's Jane. I'm moving on to a TurboTax expert who beat your price. Adam Devine, tell him how I feel.
Hey, tax pro, she's been thinking twice. Best believe TurboTax will beat your price. This is a tax break.
Switch to a TurboTax Live expert and we'll beat what you paid your pro last tax season. Make the switch at TurboTax.com/beatyourprice. TurboTax full service only. Sign up by 12/20/2024 and file by 4/1/2025. Full details at TurboTax.com/beatyourprice.
This is the sound of your ride home with Dad after he caught you vaping. Awkward, isn't it? Most vapes contain seriously addictive levels of nicotine and disappointment. Know the real cost of vapes. Brought to you by the FDA.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show, and in today's episode, I seen the news of the video game XDefiant that it could be possibly shutting down sometime soon. Now, here's the thing. I understand what the objective was for that game, but you have to understand that a fan base is not going to want to continue playing the same mode over and over and over and over and over again. At some point in time, you have to come out with something different. It can't just be, because I feel like that they see that Call of Duty is like, oh, well, we can come out with some new mode for Warzone, make it seem like it's some revolutionary gaming experience, but it's still, at the end of the day, Warzone. I just dropped something. Oh, well. But anyways, that's Call of Duty. Call of Duty got their fan base. XDefiant, you have to build your fan base. How do you build your fan base? By coming out with different modes. There are so many different things that you guys can do with this game. Giving up on it this early? Nah, bro. I'm seeing that way too often, especially when it comes down to like big developers too. I'm like, nah, bro. If a small indie developer can work on a game where ain't nobody really playing it like that, but they can work on that game for years until people get to playing it, like they're not going to overall give up on that game. What's stopping you, Ubisoft? What's stopping the developers behind XDefiant? That just doesn't even make any sense to me. If my thing is this, if you want the audience to continue playing the game, you gotta do different things to the game. That means adding different characters. That means adding challenges to the game. That means adding different modes to the game. I'm saying come out with some single player. That's the thing where it's like you're making the game only for a multiplayer audience. Do you know how many multiplayer games exist? Now, imagine if you guys had like some co-op experience in the game where it's like, oh, you have to, and I'm saying you guys can even do that too, where it's like if you want all aspects of your Ubisoft legacy to be in this game, you got to add, because that's what it overall seems like. It seems like that all the different, but it only seems like it's Tom Clancy games. I'm saying it ain't like the game is called, let me just look it up real quick. Is this game called Tom Clancy's XDefiant or XDefiant, or is it called just XDefiant? Because, hold on, it's just called XDefiant. So it's like, so they said base game, so they got the cleaners from The Division, DedSec from Watch Dogs, Eklon from Splinter Cell, Libertad from Far Cry 6, and Phantoms from Ghost Recon Phantoms. And then they got the seasonal updates. And that's why I'm like, you guys got to stop doing that. You guys stop doing things where it's like seasonal stuff. No, you have to have long-term content. You can't have no content where it's only going to be good for a season and then after that it's done and over with. People don't be liking stuff like, you have to remember that a lot of gamers nowadays are playing a lot of different video games. So my thing is this, and that's just something where it's like people need to understand that, like that seasonal stuff, it's done, dead, and over with. Like people don't be really worried about that no more. But anyways, when you're playing, if you're somebody like me, where you got hundreds of retro games, hundreds of last console games, all right, and hundreds of new games. Fam, do you really think I'm gonna sit down and have the time to play all of XDefiant? Especially, my thing is this, somebody like me, I'm short-tempered. I get mad very easily with video games. So if my thing is this, if a video game is doing something silly, why would I want to sit down and play that? Why would I want to sit down and play that game for hours upon hours upon hours? And then on top of that, it's like you're not even trying to hear me out on the ideas that I can bring to this game. I'm not saying that I have the God Almighty ideas, but I'm just saying I'm looking at other video games. I'm looking at video games I played back then. There are so many different things that you guys can do with the game, bro. There are so many different things that you guys can, but like I said, you guys can add single player content where it's like, have it where it's like some challenges with the game. Like, oh, you have to alright, so like either it could be single player or co-op, but it's like that's one thing that I really do like are horde modes. You guys can add a horde mode to the game where it's like it's just hundreds of enemies coming from all over the place, just so people can sit down and experience that game, but not just have to experience from a multiplayer point of view. They can experience from a point of view that they like. So add single player content. You guys can add missions into that game where it's like, so it seems like that it's all the like characters from your guys' games just teaming up. So it's like, hey, we gotta infiltrate this building and take out all these like different bad guys or something. Add single, it ain't gotta be like full-blown story missions. I mean, you guys can add a story to the game, but I'm saying you cannot just come out with a game and there ain't like, oh, the only thing that we can do is multiplayer, just some PvP content. When there's, let me just hold on for a second. Let me open up Steam real quick, because I feel like maybe if I have like some like just stuff in front of me that I can, visibly see, that I can maybe, give you guys some ideas through that. But hold on for a second. Let me close that out. Okay, so categories. So yeah, the game got action, all right? And I'm saying it could even be like some stuff where it's kind of like just a throwback to the missions from the other games, because it's like a lot of the games that you added into XDefiant has been like games that have single player like missions and modes in there, or just more so the missions. So add some Division missions, add some Watch Dogs missions where it's all like, oh, your character has to hack a terminal and then you have to like protect them from like just a bunch of like different enemies or something, or if it's the Division, hey, you gotta kill off a bunch of different prisoners or Division agents, whatever the situation is. Splinter Cell, oh, you gotta do like some strategic and just over here like stuff like that. You just gotta have a strategy. Far Cry stuff, have it where you add some different animals into the game. Ghost Recon, add some Ghost Recon. Rainbow Six, Far Cry. I'm saying this, well, I said Far Cry away, but I'm just saying though, at the end of the day, there are so many different things that you can add to this game where it's like you need to. Here's the thing, I feel like what they were trying to do was copy what other people are doing. That trend is done. It's done. You gotta move on. You gotta come out with something different. But you can't come out with a game that already exists. And there's so many different video games like XDefiant that exist. So at the end of the day, what are you doing for the gamers to where it's like a whole new different experience when it comes to gaming? There ain't no difference. There's no difference at all. The thing is this. I remember when I played XDefiant, and it just seemed like that I was playing a like Call of Duty simulator. It didn't feel like it was a different game. I'm like, fam, I've played this game before. There ain't nothing new about it. There ain't no. The crazy thing is that when you look at the cover art for the game, they say XDefiant, a Ubisoft original. Fam, there's nothing original about that game. There isn't nothing original at all. It is the same. There's like variety of maps and game modes. What are the game? Let me just see what the game modes. What are the game modes in XDefiant? Because I'm curious. I'm curious. So you got escort. Work with your team to escort a payload, pass checkpoints, or defend them to stop the payload. That's Overwatch. Zone control. Capture zones from the enemy team or defend against attackers in a time-limited mode. That's Call of Duty. Domination. That's Call of Duty. Occupy. Push the enemy team back to take control of a single capture zone that moves to a new location after a set time. That's Battlefield. Hotshot. Eliminate players to collect bounties and become the hot shot who receives special bonuses but is revealed to all players. Sounds like something Call of Duty would do. Sounds like Kill Confirm almost. There's like XDefiant also has unique maps for each mode, including area maps for dominant. Yeah, so it's just there ain't no difference. But you can choose the mode, map, and number of players in your lobby. Private matches can be customized to 1v1, 2v2, or trios, and you can play the standard 6v6 or 4v4 in rank. Yeah, I'm like that. That's it's stuff that I've played already. So my thing is this: it's like if you took the time to listen to the fans on what they wanted for the game, you ain't gonna just be out of money like that. And I say it reminds me of that video game Concord, where it's like you make it seem like that this game is going to be another game changer, and it's not. It's a game that we played already. We don't want to play the same games. We want to, because to me, how do you think that looks? Where if I got 5 different games that is like over 100 gigabytes or however many gigabytes, but 5 games, that's putting less memory on my computer, and them 5 games are the same. There's no difference with them 5 games. So I'm like, okay, which game can I uninstall? Well, I don't have enough time in that game, but I should keep it so I can have more time in that game. That game is the newest one now, but in this game I have all my, gear and my stuff, and it's pretty much the same thing. So maybe I should on it, and that's XDefiant. That's that game that's getting uninstalled, because I'm like, fam, I have this game already. So what, and I know people will probably be all like, well, there ain't no difference with a racing game, but at least the thing is this though, at least with a racing game, like if we're comparing Forza Motorsport and Gran Turismo, 2 completely different games. Yes, overall, at the end of the day, what they're doing, the main objective in the game, that's the same. The racing part, that's the same. But with Gran Turismo, they at least have a completely different experience than Forza. Forza, they have it where you're in the main menu, you select a career option, and then you're right in the race. And then they have the multiplayer stuff, blah, blah, blah. Gran Turismo, they have some like challenge missions where it's like you have to do things in a certain amount of time. They have it where you gotta get your driver's license in that game. Well, it ain't really your driver's license, but it's like these like class license to where it's like you just complete random objectives and stuff. And but yeah, it's like, so I know people will probably be all like, that sounds exactly the same as the missions. I think in the missions there it's a little bit more challenging, and then the license stuff, that's just completing basic tasks like drive straight, make a turn, do some zigzagging stuff and all that. Then they got the career mode, and then even I remember with that's Gran Turismo Sport. Because I'm blending them in together. But anyways, I think maybe at one point in time it did, but they shut down a lot of stuff in Sport. But talking on 7, but yeah, 7, they have it where you can there's just a little bit more deeper in depth customization. You can buy used cars. You could do these. They have like 2 different types of career modes. Yeah, that is 7, where it has the eventless career mode, and then it has this like booklet career mode thing where you gotta just overall complete these races. And then what else? Car customize, not the customization, but tuning your car to make it faster. They have it where it's kind of somewhat similar to Forza, but it's different on there. On Gran Turismo, they have where some of the races, it doesn't even matter what level your car is, like or not level, but how tuned your car is. It's like you tune it to however fast you want it to tune it. If you can control that car, you could do it's a certain amount of races. I ain't gonna say any old races, but it's different. The thing is with XDefiant, they did not make anything different besides the visuals. But at the end of the day, I feel like let's say if there was a blind person that was really good at gaming and you put them in front of that, what was that mode they said that was Escort? You put them in front of XDefiant, right? You put them in front of XDefiant, and then you have them play that, and then you have them play Overwatch. I guarantee and I promise you that blind person's gonna be like, I just played the same game. It is literally the same game. To me, I'm like, it's stuff like that where I'm like, luckily the game is free, but at the same time, I'm like, fam, you kind of scammed people. You got people's hopes all high. You made it seem like that you was coming out with this dope game, and I'm like, fam, you guys are already getting ready to give up on that game? Really? and you ain't even gonna try to consider even adding modes. Let me just make sure of it though, that I see if they are gonna actually shut down this game, because I know they be having social media accounts and stuff. So wait a minute, let me see. So there's like, they might shut it down, but let's just see. They did make a post. And they was like, yeah, they were gonna add some stuff. So I don't know what. Maybe that's just a rumor. I don't know. But anyways, so they was all like, so their last tweet made 6 hours ago. They was like, find out more of what's coming to XDefiant, including Stellar Strike and tomorrow's episode of XDebrief. But yeah, it's like, it's just, yeah, to me, I'm like, I just don't see a reason. I played the game, and yeah, to me, it's like, if you've played other, like, first-person shooter games, I guarantee and I promise you, you're not missing out on anything with XDefiant. I mean, you can play the game for free, so that is a good thing. But I'm like, maybe add some like just different, like just overall different game modes, not just the same modes that exist in other games, but come up with something different, come up with something unique. You know, where it's like you gotta. Like arm shots or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking of some stuff like off of the top of the dome. All right. So forgive me if they're not good ideas, but overall, you can use my ideas to come up with something different. Like, hey, that's actually be a good idea. You know, if you guys just think of some stuff on your own. So I'm trying to brainstorm with y'all. But yeah, it could be like a mode where it's like leg shots or something, you know, or what are some other, or kind of like how they be doing airsofting, where it's all like, you know, like you don't really die in the game and stuff. But I mean, I guess like in a way it's, I mean, they can't, they probably are doing something along those lines. But like, no, but overall though, I guess like with the airsofting idea, but yeah, have it where it's like, you shoot somebody a certain amount of times, they walk all the way to the end of the to like just the map and stuff, and then yeah, when somebody on the opposite side gets taken out, or it's like, yeah, they get timed out for a certain amount of minutes, and then yeah, y'all just go back and forth doing that. You guys can do that. A horde mode. I'm saying, like, I know you guys don't seems like they don't want to add no zombies to the division, so add a zombie mode to XDefiant or something. Yeah, have it where it's like kind of like a infected versus like, yeah, the shooters and stuff. So I'm like, it could be some stuff like that. Some story missions. I'm saying you guys are good for coming up with some stories. So yeah, add like something where it's just, you know, you have it where it's like the bad guys in the Ubisoft games are going up against the good guys. So it's like, yeah, you got like Ghost Recon soldiers teaming up with Division soldiers, and they going up against like the bad guys in Far Cry and yeah, Ghost Recon or any other Splinter Cell and, you know, games like that. I'm saying there are things that you guys can do with the game, or even just have it where it's like it can be like a community thing where it's like you guys are just coming up with community modes where you're allowing the fans to come up with some stuff. But I'm saying to just give up and be like, oh yeah, well we're done with the game. Nah, man, that's just silly. I'm like, you guys, this is your second time giving up on a video game, because I was waiting for that Heartland Division game that they were supposed to be coming out with, but then they was like, nah, I think when I last checked, yeah, that was the Division game that they gave up on. The Division Heartland, hold on for a second. There's all like, is a canceled free to play. Yeah, so I'm like, you guys was even going to you canceled it. So it's just, to me, yeah, I like cancellation and earning release on Ubisoft announces cancellation and a earning release on May 15, 24. Yeah, it's like, man, you guys need to stop doing that. People need to stop doing that, coming out with a game and then just out of nowhere just canceling it for no reason. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Yeah, I just wanted to talk on that real quick. I'm like, nah, Ubisoft, y'all better do something with that game. I'm like, I might not play it, but I'm getting sick and tired of seeing these games just randomly getting canceled or shut down and stuff. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on podcast streaming service. Thank you guys, and peace.